yeah, you have to review it because it makes mistakes, dude. The stuff
Yeah.
still hallucinates.
And
There's still going to be issues.
and that's a good point too. If you do click accept all and you see that there's an issue with it, you can restore to a checkpoint before in the chat if you're using chat. So that
Yeah.
is a nice feature as well. One of the things that I always do too is I just have localhost running, obviously, so I can see when it makes a change in cursor before you accept it. It will change the code, so you can see the change live in your localhost before you accept that change. So like a lot of times it's helpful because the code may seem fine, but then the functionality, especially when you get to like logic things, the functionality may not work. And a lot of times cursor is not great at that because it can't have the context window of your entire code base. So you'll be like, hey, fix this thing is not working how it's supposed to. You'll ask it to fix it. And it's like, cool, found the problem. And you're like, nope, still
That broke three other
there.
things.
Like,
Yeah.
still an issue. So yeah,
I,
and the last
oh,
one, I'm just gonna go through this
go ahead.
last
Yeah.
one because it's sort of like the meat and potatoes of this. I heard this one recently, and it's sort of like how I've been going through doing cursor projects anyway. But I think it's helpful to understand this. So instead of trying to just build everything at once, it's really helpful to build in stages. So building the front end using dummy data first, right? And that way you have everything looking how you want it to, and then you can understand what data you need and what data you don't. Then doing like the schemas, so understanding like what should be in the database, where I need functions to handle certain logic, and building the backend APIs. And then third, connecting everything. So connecting the front end to the back end so that now you're actually pulling real data from a database into the front end and you can remove all the dummy data. And then finally polishing and refining everything, making sure that it works how it's supposed to and the flows work how they're supposed to. I
No,
think
it's
that's
funny. I was gonna
super
say,
important.
yeah. Every time I use it, like if I'm building a form, I tell it to make everything console log first because
Yeah.
you don't want to just immediately try to connect because then if it makes a mistake,
Yes.
it messes everything up. I also want to mention too that all these like in-browser ones now, like Bolt stuff like that, you can also do that where like if it makes a change that you don't like, you can revert back.
Yeah.
They allow you to do the same thing, so that's a really good feature because it makes it a lot easier, and you don't have to like. The other thing too is you can connect GitHub to all of these. You should.
Yes.
And whenever you're going to
Make
make a
commits.
big change with a prompt, make a new branch
Yeah.
because that way too, you also can revert back to your previous branch that's still working if anything happens. And you're never in a position where like if the revert doesn't go back right or something, you still have your preserved code, so you're good.
Yeah, absolutely.